What's up, guys? How's it going? This is going to be a video about moving to Hawaii and moving inter-island in Hawaii, just based on some experience. And I'm going to share this video right now while it's still fresh. John Fernquest actually asked the question, how did you move the big stuff like a car? Guess the rest went overnight baggage or overweight baggage. So that's why I'm going to make this video, and I'm going to flash back to when I moved here in 2014 and when what I had to do in order to move from one island to another and how that process went down. So both are pretty stressful moves, actually. Both times I said I wouldn't get in the habit of making this move too often, it's a little bit different when you're traveling over the ocean than it is if you're traveling across land, because sometimes all you have to do when you're traveling across land is fill up a U-Haul and go from point A to point B. Even if you're going from New York to Los Angeles, you just have to drive the U-Haul. That's not easy, but that's the process. When you're traveling over the ocean, whether it be from the mainland to Hawaii or from one island to another, you're traveling over the ocean, even if it's going to be air cargo or by a boat. More often than not, it's freight boat. So the first thing I would say was the car. You know, you have to, when you're shipping from Los Angeles, in this case, from the Long Beach Harbor. I don't know if, I'm sure San Francisco also has one, but basically the company is called Young Brothers. Young, like I'm young, brothers, Young Brothers. Those guys, they're the shipping company. They can ship your goods, your household goods, and they ship your truck or car. Because I have a truck, I paid a little bit more because it's heavier and it's bigger. When you're shipping from the mainland to Hawaii, you cannot ship anything in the car, and your gas tank has to be a quarter tank or below. And there's no leniency on that. They absolutely do not play games with that. I showed up to Long Beach Harbor with just over a little bit of a quarter tank, and they said, no, we can't let you get on here. I was like, I just paid you guys $1,200. You're not going to let me ship it? And they're like, we can't. It's Coast Guard regulation. So because the Coast Guard is involved, it has to be below a quarter tank, or don't even play games with that. So that's a piece of advice. Don't even risk that, because I drove from San Diego to Long Beach Harbor to drop it off, only to find that out. The next thing that I would say is, yeah, don't put anything in don't leave anything in there. It all has to come out. That's if you're shipping from the mainland to Hawaii for the first time, and it took I want to say at least 10 days. So give yourself 10 days. You know, you're going to need a rental car, or you drop off 10 days before you move. I mean, either way, you're going to be without a car, more than likely probably needing a rental car to do things for your relocation or your move. So 10 days without a car, just chalk that up as an inconvenience. As far as household goods, like animals and dogs, I did ship a dog with me at the time, and that was a little bit of a process too. I've made a couple videos about that. You can search my channel for moving with pets, but yeah, that's a challenge, moving with pets. The other thing that you want to keep in mind about moves is, you know, do you want to keep all your stuff? Is it worth it to ship, you know, all your possessions, your bed and all that to Hawaii? Do you need all that? Probably not, right? So it might be better for you to sell all your $5,000 bed and get $1,200 for it and buy a new bed when you get here, than try and ship your giant $5,000 bed. And, you know, do you really need your $5,000 bed in Hawaii? You know, so I always recommend just selling everything. However, this time on my inter-island move, I did not sell everything. I kept some stuff. The one thing that I did keep was, because you can actually, when you're moving inter-island, you can put stuff in the truck bed. So you can fill up the truck bed, put a tarp on it, which is different than the mainland one, because, you know, they're traveling over 1,000 miles from that, so they don't allow anything. But when you're going inter-island 100 miles here and there, you know, they'll let you put stuff in the truck bed, and you can fill up the back seat behind the passenger seat. So you can't fill up behind the driver's seat, and you can't fill up the driver's seat or the passenger seat. Only back seat behind. So like if you wanted to move like your printer and your TV, you can put that behind the passenger seat. That's what I did. It came to me as a surprise that you can actually put stuff in the truck when you move, because from the mainland to here you couldn't. So I was like, it was kind of like, oh wow, really, you can do that. So there's a little interesting tidbit that maybe some people don't know about that applies. Another thing, you guys, what I did do was I definitely sold as much other stuff as I could. I didn't, it came with 3 backpacks on the plane. I mean, I was without a car for 5 days thereabouts. I dropped it off on Monday, and I got my car here on Friday. They called me, so 4 or 5 days. With that, the reason it takes 4 or 5 days to go from Kauai to Maui is because they have to stop in Honolulu for a couple days. When I got my car back, it was covered in salt. I thought they would put it inside like a shipping container and it would be out of the elements, but that's probably why they put tarp on it. The reason I thought they'd put it in a shipping container is because someone told me they put it into a shipping container. So no, it was salty. The first thing I did was, anyone who knows about salt knows it's corrosive. So the first thing I did was take it to the car wash after I emptied out the stuff that was in my truck bed. So the stuff I carried over on my truck bed, I carried over my desk, I carried over a TV, a computer monitor, a printer, a chair, a box, or a suitcase of clothes, and another office chair. So 2 chairs, 1 recliner kind of thing, and an office chair. And that was really pretty much my full load in a basket, like a laundry basket that had like a bunch of miscellaneous stuff like tape measures and stuff like that. A lamp, a small lamp, and yeah. The truck bed, I filled up. I also put some wall furnishings, which I still have, I just haven't hung up. And then when I got here, because I didn't have a bed, that was the first thing I had to make. I had to figure out how I was going to get a bed, because I got rid of my bed. If I shipped just my bed in that truck, I would have taken up my whole back of the bed, and I wouldn't have been able to get all the other stuff that I got because the bed would have taken up all my room. And so I looked at it like, well, I can get rid of this bed and just get a new bed, And so that was like my biggest cost when I got here, was getting a new bed. There's 1 of 2 ways you can do it. You can go on Craigslist and get a used one, or a Salvation Army or something like that, or you go to the store mattress firm and pay out the rear end for a full-size bed or whatever, or king-size bed if that's what you're into. This apartment unit, it's got 2 rooms. But I did not get a king-size bed for it. One, it's a bigger hall, and I don't know how long I'm going to be in Maui. I'm here for a little bit of work, and I'm going to be here for a little while. But if I do stay a long time, I would upgrade, But it's a bed. It gets the job done for now. I mean, I've slept on the floor, but I prefer not to sleep on the floor, so that's why getting the bed was primary. I wasn't going to get an air mattress either, because that's just what a waste. That's bad for your back, bad for your everything else, and I didn't want to get an air mattress, and I didn't want to get a futon, so that's why I spent on that. Now, as far as TV goes, I have the TV in my room that I had from my other place. No TV. Like, if you go in my living room, all I have in there is the entertainment center that I got from the Salvation Army. So at the Salvation Army, after I had gotten all that, I went there and I got a chest of drawers. I'll show you just real quick. There's one of my. I bought that at Salvation Army for $15. It's it's a chest of drawers, or it's a chest. I also got a chest of drawers. They were originally selling for $19.99. They sold them $5 each.